faced him last year up in South Bend. He said the other day after the game that DeAndre kind of gave him some grief, but all in good fun. Have y'all had fun with that?
Always. We always, kind of just joke around at practice, and just even like when we're dressing, we like, that's that Notre Dame swag, what you bring to Georgia. If anybody pointed us out and said somebody's from Notre Dame, they'll point at you. But I mean, he's a great guy, man. Just a great person all around. We love him. You know what I'm saying? He's just part of the family now.
Jonathan, we were talking to Andrew Thomas, and he was talking about playing on the road and how it's their opportunity to go out there and play when the crowd's all jacked up and they kind of feed off of that energy. Is there anything different for you guys, kind of being able to play in a little bit more of a silent environment in playing on the road?
Honestly, I like noisy environments. I just like the competition, and like the fans bring a lot of energy to games, just like our fans do. Their fans are going to do the same thing. I just think when you have everybody screaming and yelling, you just have that much more drive to go through something and be better. Just because the odds are stacked against you, and you're in somebody's home turf, and it's just kind of a statement to come out there, just handle your business.
Jonathan, Kevin talked about last year's game at Notre Dame. It's kind of a game where found out about the leadership of the team, where the team grew up a little bit. Do you maybe see this game as kind of on a similar scale?
I think even the first game that we just played against Austin Peay was a start to a new team and just a new year. And I think that we're starting to realize that we have to create our own identity, and you can't live in the past off of someone else's hard work. And we're going to have to put the hours in and the man work just to be where we want to be and to be as successful as we want to be.
You like having a game of this magnitude in week 2?
Of course. I'll take it week 1. We love competition. That's what we go off of here at Georgia. We're a physical team. We're going to run to the ball. We're going to hit. Our offense is going to run the ball, and they're going to block, and that's just what we do. All across the board. We love to compete, and any team that's willing to play us and likes to compete, we're here for.
You guys had a little bit of a quirky offense that you had to play against this past week with the option and misdirection, all that stuff. And get a little bit more traditional, I guess, this week, even though it's up tempo. How is that kind of a breath of fresh air, a little bit more similar to what you guys do?
Not necessarily. I kind of attack every game the same, and I know that our staff does the same thing. You game plan the same way. You don't want to change, what you're doing just based on the team that you're playing, because we set a certain standard here at Georgia, and we would like to keep it that way. So we did the same thing. You put in the man hours on Austin Peay. We studied them. I studied tape. I studied their runs, my back set, formations, and everything like that. And I'm going to do the same thing for South Carolina this week.
What's it like facing Bentley? He sometimes doesn't get the headlines like a Locke and a Stidham, or even Jake Fromm sometimes do around the league. But what makes him dangerous?
I think that he controls the South Carolina offense well. I think he's a great player. He's a dynamic player. He can threaten us in the passing game with the receivers. They have a great team of receivers, and they also have a good offense, and he controls it well. He knows what to do and when to do it, and we're definitely going to have to lock in and study him just like we were studying the other quarter.
This up-tempo, does that make things a little bit tougher for the defensive line, how quickly you've got to get set, how it can wear on you maybe a little?
I think, last year, we've got a lot of veterans returning on the defensive line, and we played in a lot of games where we had to have up-tempo and, fastball and just stuff like that, and we practice that every day. I think that we're going to just continue to work on that more this week, because I did see last week when they played in the lower tier team, they did a lot of fastball in that first quarter, and it's definitely something that you just have to game plan for, and you got to be ready for anything. We'll throw a lot of stuff at us because they have a good football team. That's just it is what it is, and we're just going to have to prepare.
Justin, there was a decent amount of freshmen that played in the game on Saturday. I guess in your position group, Jordan Davis being one, and then Tyson Campbell. What did you see from some of those guys?
I saw a fight. Like we said, you might not know everything to do. You might make some mistakes, but if you make it 100 miles per hour, it can be fixed and it can be adjusted. But you can't really coach effort. So you got young guys out there, giving their all in their first game that they ever played. And that's a big moment. You got all the jitters, nervousness and just anxiousness. And just to be able to shake that off and come out there, play pretty well. Jordan Davis had, three or four tackles. Tyson Campbell, he had some tackles and some good coverages, and he didn't even play his best game of football. He's just going to go up from here. And I think the one game that he got under his belt, is just going to continue to help him grow.
The fact that you guys have so much speed, you go up against every day in practice. Does that make it a little less daunting to have a Devo?
I think he's a great receiver, man. He's proved it, year in and year out. He's had some trials and tribulations, and I know he's ready to come back and give it his all. And we're gonna have to bring our A game because he's a good player. And we go against great players every day. There's great players all throughout the SEC and all throughout college football. And I think that the game plan is just going to be, really important for this game, and just, kind of knowing where their weapons are and just being able to capitalize on, mistakes and, everything that happens in the game.
Anybody else stand out other than Debo as a kind of explosive player from that offense?
I believe that, everyone on their offense, I can't remember his name right now, but their tight end, they can, put him out and he can catch balls in open space, and he can also be a good blocker at times. And I just feel like, their running backs and just their receiving core, as a unit, they're pretty good, and we're just going to have to bring our A game.
Jonathan,